That was the most wicked crime scene that I've ever seen.
Tammy Rafferty's husband, Bob Rafferty, was found dead in his home.
As Bob drew his last breaths, I'm certain that he was grateful that the kids and I weren't home.
Prosecutor Chris Gallo.
You could see just different instances of carnage throughout this otherwise beautiful house.
They even came up with a game plan of how to get out of the house in case of a situation occurred similar to this. She was afraid.
The immediate suspect, estranged husband Chris Wells. At the time of the murders, Wells was in jail for violating a protection order.
But I want to know who did this, and I think you can help me. I don't have any idea. Why would I have any idea?
He asked me to tell him everything about myself. You know, he'd lean in. Okay, tell me about your dad. You know, I tell him about my dad. Tell me about your mom. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Where were you born?
She says she told him she had been physically abused as a child.
I did not know that he was just trying to find my vulnerabilities so he could exploit them. I just thought he cared so much about me.
A lone gunman entered the school.
I looked over and then there's a kid laying in the grass, shot.
I think I was just in shock to believe it was actually a gunshot.
The cops came in and took us out. It was a real situation instead of just a drill.
Just kind of scary.
We've had 6 school shootings between 1999 and 2013 in Colorado. And that's 18 killed and 34 wounded. So when people tell me that these are rare events, well, there's one about every 2.3 years since the Columbine tragedy. To me, that's not rare.
18 killed, 34 wounded in school shootings in Colorado. Begs the question, do your kids know what to do in case a shooter walks into their school? Experts say they should. A 9 Wants to Know investigation found many don't.
I think about it a lot, that like time heals all wounds.
All wounds, all of them, or so we're led to believe. But for Amanda Teeves,
That's couldn't be more of a lie.
She knows better. Because one day, not too long ago, she knew Alex.
It's not a broken arm, it doesn't heal, you know, but you have to learn to adapt in your own life, and that looks different for everybody.
The Denver Crime Lab tested his gun, just like they do in every case.
Any firearms, we'll test fire them to generate samples for putting into the NIBIN database.
A quiet suburban shopping district, today cordoned off with police tape. The crime, murder.
I don't go to bed at night that I don't relive that day.
Police believe the murder happened late in the afternoon.
There are just so many questions.
Was there something that I should have noticed?
Too many.
So I was the one that found her.
Always on the mind of Hazel Brewer.
What did she ever do to anybody that they were that angry?
The scene, the loss of her daughter, the who and the why have been swirling in Hazel's mind for a decade.
Big dreams don't happen alone. Long before they come to fruition, we share them with those we love and trust.
He told me he loved me and that I was his best friend. And he said, thank you for being my guardian when I needed it and being my mom when I needed to be set straight.
Taylor was the boy who stole his mother's heart.
That captivating smile that he had, that mischievous little smirk he has, that was him. He would light up a room, he'd walk in and not know anybody, and all of a sudden everybody was drawn to him.
Drawn to big ideas, Taylor made his list as a teenager. Number 1, join the Army. Mom resisted at first.
And I just said, go forward. Be this protector. I know you're going to succeed.
Goal met. Number 13, get a job. Taylor chose Colorado State Trooper.
He put his mind to it, and nothing was going to stop him. And he was going to be the top. He was going to be the best of the best.
Speeds are 100 miles per hour.
On May 23rd, Taylor was almost at the end of his cadet training.
See if I can get him to come through the intersection.
And was on a ride-along with Trooper Clinton Rushing.
Taylor had texted me that day at 7:30 and said, I'm at an accident at Highway 1 and Highway 66.
Just passing County Road 7.
Warned of a chase coming their way, the cadet and trooper deployed stop sticks. The driver didn't stop. Both men were hit.
At that time, I screamed. I just screamed, no. Not him. Please, not him.
Taylor died at the scene. Trooper Rushing was critically hurt. A tow truck driver also there wasn't hurt. He said Taylor shouted at him to get out of the way.
He died a hero. He saved a man's life so he can go home to his little ones.
Save a life. Goal number 9 achieved. Just not how his mom expected.
When I found out exact details of how it happened, I went into his room and repeatedly said, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way you went. I'm sorry it was so violent. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry that I couldn't protect you from it."
There were so many more goals, many only the two of them knew about.
Looking through his phone, I was the one that he inadvertently spoke to last.
Their conversation wasn't supposed to end. Carol tried to keep it going.
I would text him just to keep in touch with him.
I got a few real short ones. I love you, I miss you, that type of stuff, and I just ignored them.
One night in particular, just having a really bad night, just telling him I love you and I miss you and please come see me.
And then I got a very heartfelt one.
That's when she got a response.
He said, "I'm a sergeant with the Greeley Police," and I told him who I was.
And then it was like the breath got sucked out of me because the reply was about Taylor and about the accident.
Sergeant Cal Halsey had a new phone with a new number. Turns out it was Taylor's old number. He offered to change the number. Carol asked him not to. After all, he was doing what Taylor wanted to do.
He never got to experience all the great things of this job. I have got to do that, and I think it's good for me to remember all the great things that, all the wonderful things he was looking forward to.
Everything he dreamed of too. 33 years ago, as a new officer.
It's like I always have a little angel in my pocket now.
And so the conversation didn't end. And while Taylor never got the chance to reach many of his goals, as fate would have it, he did find a way to accomplish number 22.
He's still trying to make a difference.
I never want them to forget Taylor Tifo.
And so the list goes on.